Alright all, welcome back to another episode from my Let's Learn series. And I'll note then, unlike the other Dreadfall dungeon visits I've basically done in like the past two episodes concerning Dreadfall, this one's going to be a little bit shorter. Nearing the end of the Dreadfall dungeon, what I like to do is I generally like to try and find a boss on the last level. And when I find him, I basically like to leave him alone and come back. And basically just level up, so to speak, before confronting him completely. So we're just going to book it through these, Dreadfall 7, Dreadfall 8, and we might do a little bit of Dreadfall 9. But the main goal will just be to try and get a little bit of experience before just pushing on to get our experience elsewhere. And we just picked up something called Fortune's Eye. This is actually trinket unique. It goes right here. I'm just going to look at this. So this basically is our accuracy, defense, armor penetration, luck, cunning. This is actually a really nice roguish type of item right here. It actually also gives track, which is awesome because that'll be very useful for something else. I'm actually kind of tempted to put this on, but we're going to actually just save this. Eventually what's probably going to happen, I'll put this on over the firewall run here. I'll probably still make use of this until pretty the little midterm before we get to the final boss, or not the final boss, but the midterm boss for the mid part of the dungeon, the first half of the campaign. And once we get to the master of this dungeon, this is the boss that basically sort of forms the midpoint of the game, and we'll probably put it on after or during or sometime around that point where we basically confront him. That'll be like what we'll be doing of that. Alright, so let's just continue on. So I'll note that I'm basically going to be going at a very quick speed this time. I feel at this point you guys have seen me sort of like, mosey around a whole lot. For those who pretty much already have a sort of idea of what this game is all about. It's about time I basically, I started playing at a more faster speed instead of trying to explain every little thing that sort of happens. Basically, I'm just going to leave it to, I'm only going to leave instances that really need to be explained, that the big boss fights or more concerning uniques and stuff that pop up. So we'll try going a little bit faster. And I just want to go down here. We've got ourselves, this guy down here is accursed. He's beckoning me toward him, so I got to deal with the fact that he's just, push me a little bit faster in his direction. These guys are all cold, but we can still freeze them. So we'll do that, and then we'll just burn them. And this is probably a good time to maybe drop this right around there. And I actually want to push back because this guy's beckoning me. I don't want to get pushed into my own fire. To him with this. There we go. I basically walked right into him right there. And he's out of the way. So this is more or less me playing on much, more notable speed. Nice. That's actually a really nice find right here. The stone gauntlets of Harkonzun. I'll note by the way, the name Harkonzun, that's actually the those fragments from the Daikara, that unique that didn't really seem to spawn. So these are like gauntlets sort of fashioned from ancient times, but it calls this Harkonzun. These heavy granite gauntlets, they were designed to protect the wearer from the wrath of their dark masters. So this is a very interesting item. It doesn't really do a whole lot for me right now, but it's got some notable stuff. This is one of the few ways you can pick up like physical resistance if you look at it there. Physical resistance basically protects you from a whole lot of like physical attacks, and that's pretty much what every single melee type of guy does to you in game. So that's a really nice item, though. I think I sort of prefer maybe using this one over it, but this is still, this is a very notable item just for that physical resistance that it has. It's also good for clinch, which is good for brawlers if you're playing a brawler class. Okay, this guy slowed me there, or something slowed me. Looks like we hit him a bit more lore, so I'll basically just hover over that for a little bit. So we'll go down here, Dreadfall lore. So know about undead poetry from the master. As an aside, I noticed one of my skeletons has amused himself by writing a poem about me.
Whilst my first reaction was to have his bones crunched into dust and what remained of his undead soul sent to the darkest depths of the abyss, I do now realize that there is some merit to this. Every great leader needs tales penned of his brilliant conquest. Therefore, I now command you all to write about poetry in my honor, praising my amazing powers, unrivaled leadership, unconquerable strength, etc., etc. Any that fail to produce works of sufficient standard shall be annihilated. So, you know, a little bit about that. And if you go down here, you'll basically see some, I think, poems. Smudged poem chalked in the dark piece of the slate. So, Master of Life, Master of Death, all fall to a word from his dread breath. Master of Staff, Master of Steel, none can withstand his ruthless zeal. Master of Magic, Master of Fire, paid a fool that stirs his great ire. Master of Strength, Master of Will, dare not oppose him, or your blood will spill. Master of Shadows, beyond mortal thought, against undying death, all are as naught. So there's like, you know, the little poem. Basically, he sort of, shall we say, crushed the poor skeleton that wrote it, which is too bad for that skeleton, but oh well. There's also a couple other things in here, a couple more poems. Maybe I'll just read over them because it's unlikely you'll see any of them because I don't know when I'll pick them up. So, me like master, he's a real laster, he is faster than a caster. Can't bring disaster, need more plaster. After his attack, Aster, Alabaster, Raster, Pastor, need more brains. Guess you know who wrote that type of poem. A poem written in the elegant Gothic script. No staff will save thee against the blindness of pride, death will catch thee up. And then I can know about the poetry from the master, blah blah. All that really means at this point is basically there's a couple, you know, lore pieces from all the like uniques you might encounter here. So there's one from Borfast, for example. On my dear Borfast, basically, you know, he gives you a little expert about well, what happened to poor Borfast and, you know, what his fate was, so, you know, before basically he met you. And there's also a couple more for the other guys that you've yet to see, Aletta and Filio. There are a couple more uniques that sometimes spawn in here. There's also one mode for the Slain Master. That's, you know, we're going to save that until we actually slay the Master, because that's when we're going to get it. Now, Monster Room. Looks like we've got one Dread Master in here, so I have to watch out for him. We're just going to drop that in here, and we'll burn these guys. The Dread Master, he's right there, so we're just going to kill him. Wait for these guys to sort of pop out a little bit. Apparently they didn't pop out, so they're going to be, you know, get shot again. And it doesn't look like we've got anyone else besides that Dread Master that I really had to care about. So I'm just going to go in here. Let's see here. I'm going to try and burn some of these guys. So maybe drop that there. Ow. Alright, there we go. They're all dead. Okay, that was apparently it for this level. That was kind of quick. Sometimes this will happen, by the way. You'll find levels that are like absurdly, you know, smaller, quick in Dreadfall, or, you know, a little bit longer. And we're just going to make, you know, just make sure there's nothing over here. But it doesn't look like there's like enough space to fit in our dungeon in here. Very absurdly small dungeon. Oh well. To next level. This might turn out to be a very quick episode. Well, I guess after that gold ring, I'll be able to do something else if we sort of reach the end real quick. Alright, we found another escort, so here's the injured seer. Lead on, I'll protect you. Your portal is where? May I ask? Close to the west. Okay, so it's this way. Well, you know, it's right there. That's very easily conveniently found. We're going to throw this maybe rock at you. And it looks like he's got a few buddies there. Yeah, I'm trying to get close enough to hit these guys with this. And yeah, we basically already got to this portal. Thank you, my friend. I think I would survive without you. Alright, so here's the Seer's Escort rewards for the Shadow Blade. You basically have options for magic, willpower, premonition, arcane eye, and vision. Unlike the other guys, you already have this like category that she's basically got these talents from. I don't know if I'll actually pick up any of these, but well, let's see here. This is actually possibly one of those situations where I may prefer to say pick up this, the magic. I might pick up premonition because
well, on most characters I like to pick up Premonition, like Berserkers or Brawlers or anything else like that, because if you pick up Premonition on those type of characters, the mana cost really isn't that big of an issue. And it's not really too much of an issue for this guy either, but if I pick up Premonition, it basically means that I'm going to lose 120, as you can see, it's the same mana cost, 120. 120 of my mana, which means I only have like 140, and maybe 150 after I level up, mana left sort of do other things. It's not too bad, but it's kind of concerning. I guess I'll pick this up, but we'll sort of show this off. So picked up Premonition. I guess we'll have to move this over maybe to here first. So if I activate this, you notice how little mana I basically have. So all these things I have, they all have like sustain costs. This one costs a little bit of mana, 30 mana to sustain. This one costs a little stamina. This one costs a little stamina. This is why sort of these like resources here are a little bit low, is because I have these sustains on. This one is a really big cost though, with 120 mana, so that's really cutting into my mana now. It's not a bad thing to have around, this Premonition. This is actually a really awesome talent, so I'll use when I'm available. What Premonition will do, if you basically get attacked by a non-physical attack, you'll basically erect a temporary shield to that element for a 5-turn duration, and you'll basically have damage reduced from that type of element, for your damage that hits you by whatever percent it basically has. So what this basically means, if I was to say get attacked by a skeleton archer who fired his arcane beam at me and did arcane damage, I basically would erect an arcane shield, and further attacks of arcane nature would basically be reduced by 16% if you look at the value in there. So it's kind of an interesting talent. It basically will hurt my mana a little bit, but it is kind of cool to make use of when that sort of pops up. Alright, so there's a couple of guys here. Alright, there's a lot of guys in here. Now, we're going to activate this. Going to activate this prematurely. Step forward. We're going to activate this. Damn, I have to set one more. Oh, boy, there's another one up here. Okay, we're actually going to do this. And so basically that guy, he fired his arcane thrust at me. So here's the Premonition thing. Basically reduces arcane damage received by 16%. So lo and behold, one of these guys actually fired an arcane beam, and there's my own defense to it. So if this guy's to fire his arcane beam at me, I get reduced by 16%. So that's going to basically happen on further attacks. Alright, so those guys got hit. I want to kill this guy quickly. So we're going to jump here. And there we go. Kill those guys. And there's a shadow over there, which means there's a doomed enemy somewhere over here. Yep, there's the doomed enemy right there. So this ghast is a doomed. I actually should probably make use of my level up since I just leveled up. I'll note at this time we basically have maxed out 5 of 5 for Guardian of Wood. I did that for the Worm of Walks. What I'd like to do pretty much after this is just put a single point in Nature's Pride. Nature's Pride is the capstone talent for Floran racials, and what it does is it basically lets you summon 2 Trents, and those would be like 2 little summoning allies for my character to make use of, and it's kind of neat. I don't really invest past 1 point because you don't really need to decrease cooldown, but it's a really cool little thing to do when you summon those guys up. Now, class points. So we maxed out Shadow Step last time, and I mentioned I'm probably going to make my way over Cripple, so we're going to put a point in Backstab now. Backstab, what it does is, whenever I have basically a stunned target getting hit, I basically have a greater chance of my attacks being critical by whatever percent it is here. So if I have low critical chance and I have Backstab, there's actually a much higher chance that I'll actually critical those guys. And it also raises my melee critical strikes just naturally. And each of my well, it doesn't really do that. Your melee critical strikes have a chance to stun targets, which as a result of them being stunned, will increase your chance of critical. So it's a very powerful passive for this one right here. And there we go. So 60 here is the capstone or higher limit for dexterity. You can't level up your dexterity past 60 or any of your other stats past 60. Once you get to 60, it's basically it. I basically raised this to 40, so at this point we're going to start raising up our cunning. And we'll basically push on from here. Kill you. Alright, so there's a guy popping there. Alright, so these guys are, coming on me now. We're going to activate this. We're going to activate that. We're going to basically freeze. Shadow step. And they're out of the way. And they're all dead. So note, because of my, I want to note something, by the way. You haven't really noticed it, I guess, but because like stuff like this is like taking away from my stamina and taking away my stamina, and this is now taking away my mana, because I have much less resource, that actually means I have less use of these talents, for example. If you look at Shadow Step here, it has a stamina cost of like 33.6, and if I throw in a Flurry with 16.8 and a Dual Strike with 16.8, these talents, they'll suck up a lot of stamina. And because they're sucking up a lot of stamina, I basically, only have so many of those attacks to sort of make. So I sort of have to be careful with these like sustains, like, Premonition, which really suck out a whole lot of mana. They can be very good sustains later on in the game when you have lots more resource to make use of, but before then they can be a bit of an issue because they basically suck out too much of your strength to do so. There's another piece of lore. Probably would have been the one for the poems, maybe. Might have. Hey, look at this, a Naga. Hello, Naga. So I'm just going to inspect this guy. I want to note that I noticed that this guy, he basically had like a temporary status effect speed. If you actually look at him, this guy, he's actually got global speed of 166.3. This guy is moving extremely fast. His attack speed is a little bit lower, but he moves really, really fast. I have to be very careful of that. So we're just going to stun him, and he's out of the way. But you want to be very careful of some of these effects that sort of change like the speed of monsters. At 160 like global speed, if that guy moved toward me, he would basically move twice, or yeah, for every 2 moves I would make, he would get 3. That'd be like the sort of like result of his faster speed. Alright. I'll note, by the way, that this item also gives me increased stamina, so that's helping to offset this a little bit, the reduced stamina here, as well as the fatigue reduction. But eventually I'm going to probably take off some of these rings like, this, and I took off the Ferris Steel Amulet to put in the Choker of Dread in here. Alright, we're going to just compare that to our other ring. As you pick up items, you want to basically compare like stuff that you may have picked up from beforehand. So this is the old ring I had from before, and this is a new one just picked up. This one gives me increased cunning, magic, mental save, confusion power, and spell power. And this one only gives mental save, defense, cunning, and confusion immunity. This one's a little bit weaker, I think, but you basically want to make sure that it's not weaker, because if you sell it and you never really checked it, it might have been better. So if you find stuff, you want to check it to see if it's better, because a lot of this stuff varies in how its like stats are sort of distributed and all that. Alright. Looks like there's a vault over there. Yep, this is a vault. Alright, this looks like an interesting vault. Yep, this is going to be an interesting vault. So we got ourselves what looks like a bunch of similar level undead to me. Nothing bad could happen from this sort of combination, right? Except for the fact that there's guys popping out doors. Like so. Actually hit the wrong thing there. Okay, so there's guys over here. Let's maybe drop this right there. We're going to basically do a sweep. Kill those guys. I'll note, by the way, if you look at my sweep and my whirlwind, these are actually very expensive talents right here. They're basically as expensive as Shadow Step. So these talents, unlike Flurry here or like Dual Strike, these like cost like twice as much. So in a fight like this, like I already used like this talent, so I like cut through like I can only use this like say 6 times before my stamina goes completely kaput, so to speak, in a fight usually. I will gain like back a little bit of stamina, but it's not that big a gain unless you actually have the appropriate talents for it. And even then, those talents that you could pick up might not be great. So this dungeon, or this vault rather, in this one here, these guys are all the same level as me, but it's kind of difficult because they're all sort of funneling toward me as fast as possible. And there's Cinder Feet. Cinder Feet is a very special item. It basically, what it does is, trails of fire behind you, dealing damage based on your spell power. So, kind of an interesting little item. It also gives you resistance to cold, gives you a little bit of armor defense, light radius. Very cool item to make use of, actually. I'm not sure I want to give up that, but well, maybe, you know, show the effect off at some point when I get around to it. I won't do it right here, but maybe we'll show it off in the future. Okay, so premonition went off a while ago, apparently. So that actually reduced my damage just a little bit, this premonition here. So if I actually look at, so basically you'll notice that these guys all got hit for like 154 arcane damage, and I got hit for a little bit less. I'll note that my character, right now I have arcane resistance of like 22%, but most of this is actually, I think, from this right here. So if I actually go into like some of this stuff I have here and check around for arcane resistance type of gear, apparently I don't have any arcane resistance type gear. So yeah, okay, so basically it reduced all the damage pretty much from this or something. Oh wait, I know what's happening. So basically, if you look at your defense, by the way, I should probably note this before you maybe not know about it, but basically this all resistance right here, this actually sort of couples with the existing arcane resistance. So this value right here is 16%, the all resistance here is 6. If you basically add all and the arcane that I have right now, you basically get 22. So this is basically the entirety of all and what arcane resistance I sort of have at the moment. So that's why basically it's 22. It's because of that sort of effect. They're basically coupling to each other. And the Vampire Lord is being kind of annoying, so we're just going to throw a rock at him. And step forward. Probably shouldn't step forward in here because there's still a lot of guys all over the place, but I'll basically after my blind speed. We're just going to burn these guys. I'm actually taking a bit of beating here, so we're just going to heal up. Oh, there's an Emperor White. That'll be fun. And someone has confused me, bastards. Alright, well, we're just going to try and move back because I'm confused and I don't feel like, you know, trying to fight things while I'm confused. So I'm having difficulty moving around because I'm confused. If I put this on, there's a chance I'll fail it, but I luckily didn't. Don't let these guys get to me. Just going to let them funnel out at this point. Alright, so still lots of these guys right here. So Emperor might, this guy basically caused me to get confused. Okay, we're just going to rush him. And we're going to get rid of this confusion with the Budding Guild Rune, so don't have to deal with that crap. Kill him. Let's throw a rock at this guy. Step forward. So maybe drop that right there, perhaps. I got hit by this, you know, stupid Circle of Death. This is apparently on, you know, cooldown because I probably used this blind speed here. I'll note, by the way, with these, like, you know, trinkets like you use from gear, many of them basically place your other stuff on cooldown. So this places all my charms on cooldown for like 36 turns. If you look at the thing right there, this wouldn't take that many turns, but you know, you have to be sort of careful with what you use basically for your charms and all that. Maybe it's from this just because I just used this. This has placing all our charms. So I just used this, so basically placed all this other stuff on cooldown. So this guy sort of did an inopportune time to sort of drop that. Now I sort of have to deal with it because I'm sort of in here. Probably this is a good time to show off Nature's Pride, I guess. So, yoink! Here's Nature's Pride. You got basically two trends to sort of, like, you know, use as minions to wall or whatever else you want them to do. And you know what? We're actually going to move that a little bit onto the first screen. I like to use Nature's Pride quite a bit on the Florin, just because it's a nice little stopgap. So just going to drop this here. And we'll move this down to here. Alright, we're just going to keep moving back. Someone hit me with Burning Hex. That's fun. Let's keep moving. Yeah, so Circle of Death, Bane of Confusions. Just going to wait for guys to sort of come toward me. I may activate this a little bit. If those guys don't come, then I'll just get all my stamina back too, which is also, you know, sort of useful. Alright, here they come. So we still got, as you can see, there's lots and lots of guys in all these rooms, giving up quite a bit of a fight. Let's maybe throw a rock up here. I'm trying to kill a skeleton here, and maybe these vampires. And we're just going to look down here a little bit. Maybe drop that on him. Someone put the damn Circle of Hex on me again. So this guy dropped his, cold flames. We're just basically going to walk through these cold flames a little bit. So every time you walk in cold flames, you have to sort of resist being frozen. And you take a little bit of cold damage as a result of being in the cold flames. Alright, so these guys are slowly funneling out. This guy's got a stupid phantasmal shield on and it's hurting like a bitch. Ow, ow, ow. Step forward, we're basically going to burn these guys. Freeze them. And we'll keep stepping forward, kill him. He's also got phantasmal shield on, so I have to be careful with that. And with this, heal up a little bit. Alright, so you get to finally see it. So here is a very special ability that this guy sort of has. He has something called Impending Doom. Vampire Lords, this is one of the things that make him really deadly. Basically what this is, the target's final doom is drawing near, reaching the healing factor by 100% and dealing arcane damage per turn. The effect will stop if the caster dies, but obviously if he's still alive, then it's not going to basically end. I want to basically kill this guy very quickly so I can basically heal up again. So he's dead. And as you can see, it basically disappears. But that Impending Doom, what it does is regeneration, healing effects, all this stuff basically doesn't help me at all. Shielding will help a little bit, but not a lot. So we're just going to do this. But you basically finally got to see it, the Impending Doom. Oh, Dreadmaster. Hello, Dreadmaster. He's out of the way. Another one. And he tried to launch an Impending Doom on me. So these guys, they can all... Okay, it seems like this guy maybe is summing up stuff here. Or maybe he's not, but... None of these guys have some... Oh, here we go. Summoning destabilization. So there is a little bit of summoning going on. It looks like some of these guys... Well, I guess there isn't a whole lot of summoning going on, but it seems like there's lots of guys still from this vault, so... This vault's taking a little bit of a time to go through. Let's drop that on him. We're going to try and hit him once. Ow! Activate this. Kill you. This will put all the stuff on cooldown again, but... you know what? We just want to burn him a little bit. Kill you. I don't care about a little bit of, cold damage being done every single turn, so we're not going to worry about that effect. Drop this here. Boom. Ow. I think this guy dropped down stupid lightning elemental ruin on me. Do that. Skeleton Mage. Yep, that's a Skeleton Mage. So we're just going to sweep those guys, get rid of them. Step forward. Another Vampire Lord up there to sort of deal with. So we're just going to burn in that direction. Injure him up a little bit before I have to confront him and possibly get Impending Doom on myself. Whirlwind to kill these guys. Kill you. Notice that I basically have no stamina at this point, so using my stamina a little bit too heavily, and now I basically don't have anything left. And that apparently knocked him back all the way over here, which is actually not something I wanted to do, but oh well. Drop that there. Maybe we can burn him a little bit more, so There we go, he's dead. Another skeleton makes you deal with. There's another dread somewhere. We're going to try and heal up some of his stamina that I basically lost. Hello, ghoul. We're just going to kill you. Let's maybe drop a rock on him. And there's apparently this guy coming down, so let's just drop this here. Looks like there's a randart right there underneath where he is right now. Drop that there. Oh, he's going to try and freeze me, so we'll try and back off out of that. And we'll heal up his stamina a little bit. Hey, wait, no, there's still guys. Still so many guys in here. They're fighting on you. We're just going to kill you. Charge this guy a little bit. There's genocide. That was the item that Master Vampire was sitting on. And lo, you know, there's still guys in this vault. Oh, what fun this will all be when we kill them all. Okay, activate this a little bit. We're going to do this, that. Oh, someone tried to do that. Alright, at this point the vault should be completely cleaned out, so we can just all explore. Grab everything in here. Hey, look at that. We just got treasure hoarder because we amassed a whole lot of gold all at once there. Okay, that's it for Dreadfall 8. I'm just going to do a quick... another crappy movement infusion. When will I find a good one? I consider a good movement infusion whenever you get like 500, 500% speed or more. Preferably I want to get like 600, 700, but just haven't found anything decent, so to speak, from those. So lightning rune here, not really that great. Only skills of strength because I'm not really raising. Survival, spell, convenience. I'll note that there's some artifact, or there's some items like this that raise talent masteries. What that does is, if I was to put this on, I'll actually just sort of show it off. I'm not sure if I actually went down to level, so we're just going to make sure we aren't losing anything if I sell this stuff. So there's that artifact I obviously dropped. It's basically a great sword that requires will and strength. It's a very powerful sword for sure. It does basically extra damage against, or it does reduce damage against orc, and it does extra damage against orc type of enemies. It also gives you telepathy against orcs, so you can actually see orcs all around you. Very interesting little sword if you're using two-handed weapons, which I'm not. And the rest of this stuff doesn't look like there's anything really popping out, so to speak, that for keep this one. And that gives extra stamina, extra life, reduced fatigue, more accuracy, and a little bit of extra defense. I kind of like it. I kind of like it a little bit. So you know what? We're going to put this maybe on. So put that on. That lets me breathe in water if I wanted to. We will compare it against the other hat I sort of had, just to make sure it's not something, I'd rather have over the other one. Probably isn't, but always good to check. It is always good to check to make sure that, an item that you're having here in your transmogrification chest is not indeed going to be, better than what you already have in your inventory. And I'll keep these for a little bit. So this gives me +7. These alchemist lamps, here's corpse light. I'll note, by the way, there's this very special lamp right here that actually turns you into an undead. Undead, basically, what this would do, you basically would be able to retch on the ground and that would heal you, kind of like what the ghouls do. Basically, when you retch, they would basically heal you instead of damage you if you're a forlorn. If you're undead, it won't really matter because you'd be healed anyways, but this turns you into an undead unless you basically benefit from undead type of traits. Though it would also make like certain other traits that are anti-magic not work very well with them. Okay, this is actually a very nice lamp right here. Scorching lamp of moons. This lets me basically focus a moon into a beam of shadow, or a moonlight ray basically. That's actually kind of interesting. Not really what I'm going for, but you know, it's interesting to show off. Here's a very special trinket. This lets you remove up to 2 poisons or disease from a target. If you get diseased or poisoned, you can use this to basically take off those diseases. It also has some other stuff, like as you can see, chance to blind when you basically melee stuff. You change your resistance to mine, and you basically damage when you hit. You do 8 light damage. So this is kind of an interesting trinket. Not like something I'm going to use because you have that other one, but you know, interesting to sort of point out. I think we might actually put this one on. This one here. This will basically reduce my light rays by 1, but I get extra 50 health, which is nothing to scoff at. That's a lot of health to sort of not make use of. Alright, I'm not sure if this is something I can use. Cool! Alright, so there's like the another item that I can basically use for my inventory. When carried, this will reduce my light rays by 2, but I can now basically summon spiders, and you know, these have been used to sort of like, you know, defend me or whatever else, kind of like the Choker of Dread already does. We'll heal up a little bit. Alright, so that's done. So I will keep that, why not? And not doing anything of that stuff. Keeping this for the con. Keeping this because it's better. Keeping this for the con, or cunning. Am I really keeping this for the cunning? You know what, I'm actually thinking that this is actually not worth keeping anymore. At this point, I've sort of gone through where you need to see stealth and see invisibility. I don't really need the stats that much. So you know what, we're actually going to get rid of this. I don't really need it. Don't need it that much anymore. We're going to keep this for Luminous and Horrors because of course those are annoying. This gives me the critical multiplier that I think we'll possibly making use of in the future, so we might keep this. This is also good for extra life. Blood color. Blood color was actually really nice for a while, just because it has that negative fatigue and that life leech. I might still make use of it later on, and I was going to basically show this off, so I'll do that in a moment. So we'll do it right now. So if I put this on, you'll notice that basically boosts up my, you know, cunning, survival, conveyance. If I go over to these like sort of talents, here's conveyance right here. So this is now talent times 1.26 or 1.36. So this has been boosted up a little bit, and as a result, these effects actually get boosted a little bit as well. So if I look at this one, piercing sight, it basically ups my self-detection to 47, invisibility detection up to 47. If I take off the thing, it's reduced to 43. So just from that little boost, like of like 2.6 or yeah, 0.26, you basically would boost it up by like 4 or 5 points to see invisible foes and stuff like that. So sometimes this equipment can be kind of useful for that sort of effect, depending on what you're trying to boost up. It's not really that useful to me specifically, and even though the other stuff is kind of nice, it's not really going to be something I really care about to make use of, so let's get rid of that, but it's kind of interesting, that thing right there. And we'll wield this a little bit more. I'll probably get rid of the Choker of Dread, by the way, sooner than later. Once I basically get through this dungeon and blindness is not really an issue, I don't know if I really keep it around for much else. I may just keep it in my inventory, but I'm not sure I'll do much else with it in the game. I can probably get rid of Wooden Orbs. This is actually something I kept for seeing visibility in blind fight, but at this point in the game, I'm not really having trouble with hidden foes, so this doesn't really help me. I guess I'm sort of hesitant because this is not really wearing me down that much, but I'm not probably going to use this ever again in the game. This I'll probably use very soon, just because it gets that negative 20% fatigue reduction and increased movement speed and all this other nice stuff it does, but yeah, I'm probably not going to use this stuff after I get outside this dungeon. Alright, we're keeping this for the Constitution stat. I don't think there's another belt in here, so yeah, there's no other belt. Keeping this for constitution stat. Keeping this just as a backup for if I ever take this off, or if I ever decide to put this, maybe on full time. Cinder Feet. Might put that on now, just to sort of show it off. Yeah, let's do that. We'll put on Cinder Feet, and I'll sort of show you what it's all about. I guess I might keep this for a little bit. I might put it on over this at some point. These gloves, they give me accuracy, armor, sense foes, track, and all that. I think I was keeping that for track. Not sure I'm keeping it for anything else. And as a result, I have this, which also basically has track. So this thing, I possibly was keeping it for the track ability, but I don't really need the track ability, so we're probably going to get rid of it, just because I don't really need it. And even though this is probably better than this one right here, I'm not sure it's really better than like these one right here for the physical reduction, so we're going to get rid of that. Yeah, housekeeping. You have to do it every so often in your character, or else you're going to basically have incurrence problems, or just a really full inventory of like crap that you're not ever going to use. Might put this on soon. This is another reason I'm not probably going to keep the Choker of Dread on all that long, because I'm eventually going to basically put, I'm going to take this off because the physical saves and mental saves and all that won't really matter that much. Whenever I have like something else on. I might want the resistances though, I'm not really sure yet. This is really nice, really to make use of. A lot of this stuff, you basically have to sort of compare what they all do to see if like, they're comparable to possibly put on and have over other stuff you might have a chance to make use of. Some of it, like the these hats, for example. I might make use of this. I'm not sure if I'll make use of this. I might make use of this, and I'm sure I'll make use of this. It's just a whole lot of like, what will I do, what will I not do type of thing here. Alright, we're going to basically transmogrify all the crap in my inventory, so I'll note that sometimes you basically get huge amounts of like, stuff in your transmogrification chest to make use of to sell. And here's one of those instances basically as a result. We basically have a whole lot of stuff to sell. Okay, none of this stuff I don't think really interests me, but I just want to make a quick check for the daggers. Just make sure there's nothing like Constitution being boosted on any of them. And that's just great model, so we're not going to care about those. Massive like selling sound there. 436, so we basically increased our cash by like 400 or so. So note that I'm basically setting the ground on fire when I move now with Cinder Feet. Also note that I'm on Dreadfall 9. This is where you'll find the boss for this instance. So I want to be very careful here. Note that if stuff steps in the fire, it actually takes damage from it. You don't take damage from it, but other stuff will. Okay, let's actually step on this. And we got a couple orcs, a ghoul king. Nothing I can't handle. Kill them all. In many ways, Cinder Feet is kind of like, a fluff effect type of item. You probably won't make use of it for the actual fire effect. It might be, something you can make use of for like running around, but the effect itself is not that great. What you'll really like this for is probably light rays and the cunning and magic boost and other stuff it basically does. But that basically is that's basically what Cinder Feet is all about. The little fluff effect of a trails of flames that come behind you, and the very passive buff to light rays and other stuff like that. All right, I think I've demonstrated that enough, so we're just going to put this back on. Because I'd rather have, the ability to disengage and have the resistances and stuff that is on the boots. Alright, so what I'm doing here in this sort of level with the Master, I don't plan to fight him. The boss of this instance is not something to be toyed around with. And you know what we're actually going to do? This is actually a very good time to sort of demonstrate why track is very beneficial. So, a lot of people really like track. And yeah, we're going to take off the sort of wand here, so make use of track. What track is all about? Track basically lets you see stuff. So I can see that there's going to be a rare and a couple other stuff over here. Wow, I basically have a big, huge line set and all this stuff. There's a monster room right there. And this is actually one of the few times where you get to see in vault status. And there's the master right there. He's the boss. So stuff I know about these like monster zoos and all that when you basically find them. If you look at them, you see temporary status effects in vault. So these guys, they're all in vault, and what that basically means, if I was to go look at these guys, in vault, this target is part of a vault and cannot act until it's been opened. He can't be damaged, he can't act, he can't do anything until basically you open the vault and basically see him. Now, the other guys like this guy, they are active and they can be hit, so I can hit them. And let's just look around. So this guy right over here, he looks like an arcane blade. Whoa! I accidentally moved instead of looked. Anyhow, there's an arcane blade over here. I note that he basically moves down because I basically moved into range of sight of these other guys. That'll happen. And he basically disarmed me. I'm just going to do this. Burn! And by the way, if you do an attack that does over 600 damage from one attack, you get an achievement. I want to note something about Shadow Blades and rogues in general. If you do over 600 damage in an attack, you actually get one of the rarest unlocks in the game. The Marauder class is one of the few classes in this game which I consider to be really hard to unlock. And part of the reason is because you need to use a rogue or a Shadow Blade to get 600 damage or more in one attack. Now, I basically did that because I basically had this, but you might not find this type of item, and it'll be very hard for us to basically do that sort of damage in an attack. But we just did it there, so that's kind of cool. It sort of came up. Alright, so we have the ability to use track if I ever want to. We can just basically look around. So this radius thing. Since it has a radius of 25, that basically lets me look around to see where stuff is. Okay, there's another rare down here. He is a skeleton mage, will-o-the-wisp, keen senses bird. This is a necromancer by the looks of it. We got a couple more guys over there. A few a little bit of money vault over here. And this generic enemies all around over a place. So yeah, this is where I start making use of the ability to sort of look around, so I don't have to fight the master unprepared. Okay, that's all done. Hey, I'm confused. Okay, we got close enough to do this. Step forward. Notice that I moved away from the master so I no longer see him. If I look also at this room all the way up here and in the monster zoo, I don't see all the monsters because I'm far enough away that we're starting to get outside the radius of them. Keeping ruin. Okay, now I want to show you something very special about track. The thing about track is that it lets you see enemies. Note that there's no one around this guy. Shadow Step, it basically lets you hit anything you see. So in combination with track, apparently I can't go through walls. Okay, so good to know. Some abilities you can actually use again in through walls. So I can see that guy because he's like, you know, outside my light radius, so to speak. And I guess I had enough range on this. This basically has a range of 11, so to speak. So I only have a sight radius of 10, I think, on this character. If I want to hit stuff that's outside my light radius, I can basically do it with track, because basically lets me see stuff outside my light radius, so to speak. I can actually do that. You're dead. Okay, we want to be very careful sort of approaching the master up here, so I don't want to activate him, obviously, because I don't want to fight him. But I do want to try and get the experience I can before fighting him. Alright, lots of guys here. Good time to use... By the way, if you have like an AoE for like, you know, try and get that 600 damage like attack, AoEs can do a lot of damage on multiple enemies, so I basically did, you know, that much damage on all those guys for like the 600 damage like achievement if I was going for it. So you can get a lot of damage. Same with like runes, I think, too, if you have a good one. So they're all dead. And looks like someone's moving around. Who's moving around? It's just a skeleton archer. No one really care about. Sometimes the master will move around, by the way. That's happened to me before. I basically was in the level for a long time trying to fight a Ruined Banshee. Took me over to try and kill him, and then all of a sudden the Master appears. It's not fun. Alright, they're all the way up there. And I basically shrugged off the disarm effect, so that's kind of cool. Sometimes I'll resist it, but I usually don't shrug it off. Alright, we're actually going to go over here and dig a bit of wall right here. The reason for doing that is just so it connects the room. Alright, so looking over here, the Master, he appears to be from this door right there. So Master's, you know, just above. Okay, the door for this vault is over here. It's very close to this guy. I don't think we want to go through the door, so... Damn, there's also an item right there to pick up. But oh well, we can't do it without alluring the Master, so don't worry about it. So yeah, this is where you can make use of track to sort of just avoid him. And we did quite well. Didn't fight him at all. You know what? This is a very good wand to make use of, but I probably won't ever use it again. I'm with Soka's improvements is not really a big issue, but I'll note that at this point, we'll probably never use this yet again, this wand, just because this is a very good item for our Shadow Blade to make use of at this point on his character. At this time. Or my character, so to speak, and all that. By the way, there's something that basically increases your stamina each turn by 0.70, so you gain that much more stamina per turn. Can help offset like stamina costs by, you know, letting you regenerate your mana fast enough to really make it a non-issue. Okay, don't really care about any of that stuff. Whoa, 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 whoa. I accidentally hit Auto Explorer. I didn't mean to do that. I came back to this level to see if there's an Escort reward. You haven't really seen it, but I guess I'll have to tell you a bit about it now. So, something I know about Dreadfall that you have to be very, you know, cautious of is this! Hooray! At least one actually happened. So here we go. I actually went through all of Dreadfall 7, and I came back to it, you know, by just walking through it. So this guy, sometimes Escort rewards won't appear immediately when you enter a level, and part of the reason is because of doors. So lean on, I'll protect you. Doors in this game, what would happen if you came in here? They basically, the escorts ignore doors. If there's a door in the way, they won't make use of it to sort of, you know, go to their, like, portal. So if, like, this door is closed and the portal's right here and she was right here, she wouldn't be able to get through it until after she, after you basically went through the level first, came back to it after opening the door. So basically there's a line of sight on how to get there. It's right there, as you can see. So because the doors are open, she's able to basically get to it. But if the doors weren't open before, then she wouldn't be able to get there. And, you know, as a result, you would not be able to get the Escort until you came back. Alright, so here's the one for the Alchemist. Thank you, my friend. I do not think I would survive without you. Please let me reward you. Some people like to say that one of the best things you can possibly get is the Alchemist Award. One of the things you can get from here is staff training, but that's not really important. But Stone Alchemy is a category that has a very powerful talent in it. It basically lets you imbue gems into your gear. I won't be going on for it for his character, but this is actually a very valuable Escort reward for those, you know, players who want to make use of it. The other stuff like Staff Mastery, Channel Staff, Stone Touch, not really that interesting to me. So this is actually the first time where it's going to basically hit Improve Magic by 2, or actually I can do this. I'll basically just show you this off. So Improve Dexterity by 1. So I just improved my Dexterity by 1. Whenever you like get those like improvements for like the escorts and stuff like that, it always improves this value over here. So this value got improved, not the base value. The base value only represents how many stat points you've invested in the stat itself. So this will always be your, you know, from 10 to 60. It will never be like, you know, something lower than 10 or something above 60. It will always be between those values. This number will be, you know, the modified value of your stat, depending on what equipment or status effects, where else is happening to your character. So that just basically shows that off. And hooray, we got ourselves the Escort in here to basically show off that sort of concept where doors will block off those guys if you come back to the place. And we're just going to exit this place. Alright, so something I think I want to do at the sort of this end of this episode here. So we're just going to go over to Anguin, because it's a good time to sort of show it off. Anguin has this, it has that jeweler, and it has a special feature where you can basically use the jeweler to imbue stuff in your gems, or gems into your jewelry. So we're going to basically go do that, and I'll basically show you off what it's all about. So if you go up here to the guy, this guy over here, he basically has the option to say, I'm looking for special jewelry. If you click this option, then you're at the right place. For I'm an expert jeweler. If you bring me a gem and a non-magical ring, I can imbue the gem inside the ring for you. There's a small fee dependent on the level of the ring, and you need a quality ring to use a quality gem. So I need your services. So basically, if you do this, you basically can use like your non-magical rings for this guy, and it's tier 3 as you can see, and you basically can put in a gem. These gems can have like very useful stats. In this case, there's quartz, for example, which I can use to get stun freeze immunity for my character. There's other stuff like this: physical crit chance, spell crit chance, mental crit chance. Basically, a whole lot of different effects that you can basically find on your gems here. Now, you notice I can't put anything other than like tier 1, 2, 3 gems in this. If I try and put like a tier 4, it won't let me because the ring is not high enough. You have to have the high enough like ring to make use of a quality gem. So I can put in level 1, 2, and 3 type of gems, but nothing else. Let's put in this one here. So Aquamarine. So this will cost me 4 gold to accept. So no. If I like try to use my tier 3 on something else, like a tier 3 gem, 46. So it increases your gold a little bit by cost. Once you basically put it in, you basically can look in here, and here's like the ring itself. So Onyx Ring just basically has the stats from the gem that I basically imbued in it, and I can make use of this to basically bolster my character in all the different stats now as a result. So there's a new con and constitution ring. So if I look around, I'm actually not sure I had any other type of ring like that. So we're actually going to keep this ring, by the way, just because I don't have the other stats. Oddly enough, for +3 con or +3 constitution, where else do I make use of it for? Alright, so that's that. I'll note, by the way, that eventually you can also do the same to amulets if you do a special quest later on in the game. I won't really care about it, so we'll just get rid of this, but we won't really worry about that. So that's going to bring an end to this episode. We basically have gone through almost all of Dreadfall except for Monster Zoo and the Master. I want to note that at this point I'm level 28, and I'm getting very close to level 30, but I'm not yet there. And here's the thing. I'm basically going to try and go to the Elven Ruins over here and try to get to level 30, but if it doesn't, then you're going to see me basically do something I say is very optional, and most players will say it's kind of tedious or go to it or stuff like that, but it's basically a sort of feature. Okay, you're being really annoying. Please get by. Please let me by. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to do... note, by the way, if you put on like a Ferris Steel amulet, this actually lets you move faster on the world map too. So I could possibly move faster than this guy and get by him if I need to. There we go. I'm past him. I might have to do an episode on killing escorts soon, or those patrols, for example. You actually do battle those guys if you get in melee range of them, and I've yet to really show it because I expect it to happen at some point, but it might just happen on my own terms. Okay, so Elven Ruins will be the next dungeon I'm going to basically go through. This is going to be hopefully where we're going to get the experience we need to get to level 30. These guys, you can see, they start off a little bit, quite a bit levels away from me, but it's nothing too bad for my character, I don't think, so not too much of an issue. I think we're actually good with the stuff I have equipped right now. So that'll be it for this episode, I think. I'll see you guys next time in the ancient Elven Ruins.